Shall we play a game?
Oh, how about global thermonuclear war?
Please list primary targets.
Who should we nuke first? Seattle!
Yeah! Kill him.
I have 7, correction 8. That's 8 red birds 2 degrees past apogee.
I do have skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. I will look for you. I will find you.
Hi, man. Jackson, cutting your room, please. Sorry, what's your name? Mark. He's expecting me a week late. This no photograph is filming by order of judge. We've got a copy of the order.
I don't personally have a copy.
Can we get a copy?
I can ask you. You can ask Jackson.
I'll ask him, yeah. Sweet.
Would you like to just take a seat?
Thanks. Jackson, hi. Yeah.
How you going? I'm Jackson Cutting. Well done. Yeah, well, do you want us to
Right, either or.
Yeah.
I'm a wee bit late. That traffic was a nightmare.
So I've got it. I've had a bit of a briefing. Some of that. And I know you've got an amicus appointed as well.
Well, court does. It's not mine.
And the idea being that he's still working with you as a, I guess, what's the...
Well, all he's tried to do is get me to confess multiple times, which is a breach of my Bill of Rights, Section 25, second D. So, you know,
that's not something that I...
Well, every lawyer's first duty is to the court, so that's how I treat them all.
Yeah.
And he's right hand to the court. He's there to advise her, not me.
I just got to check, you're not recording a conversation.
What's with this? These signs have just popped up.
Yes,
What are they all about? And can I get a copy of the order from the judge?
Not a judge's order, it's a ministry policy.
It says by order of the judge. So it says on the sign there, by order of the judge. So get a copy of the order would be really good. Otherwise it's breaching my Bill of Rights, Section 14. This is a public place.
Register.
Public place. It's a public place. Anything other than the courtroom itself, when it's actually in operation.
We've still got a right to have certain policies around.
Sure, policy doesn't override law.
Yeah, so we can ask people not to wear game colours.
You can ask. Sure.
Yep, and then we can say that we would do that right to someone not being building. So, yeah, certain conditions entry. It's a bit like anything else. We say you can't smoke in our buildings. So.
Of course, you respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but being able, but then if I can't film, neither can you. Turn off the cameras. You know, I can record and film for my own security just as much as you can.
I'm not here to debate that.
No, it's not a debate, it's a fact.
Yeah, so you've got the reason why I'm meeting.
Yep.
Is you have concerns about my staff.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm prepared to talk
Yep,
about.
cool. The lady at the counter said to ask you for a copy of that order. That's why I brought it up.
Well, I can look into that. Okay. Maybe the registrar has made that direction, but
Right, so my first issue here, especially to do with Rita, is the fact that she sought direction from a judge to have my stuff taken off me before I was even heard. And yet I was told by Georgina I was coming in here to discuss, I had on the judge's list to discuss recording with the judge. So it was obvious I was going to be here with cameras and then to be surrounded by full security and get told, cop over your goods or leave. That's not cool, especially when I'd given the court multiple notices that I was going to be in here exercising those rights, and I asked the court multiple times, or the registrar multiple times, to supply me with the legislation that says I can't. You know, policy doesn't override legislation. I don't care what you say, you know. At the end of the day, that's what law's there for. You know, I could start a business tomorrow and make a policy saying I'm going to grow 10,000 plants. That doesn't override the law, does it? Yeah.
So what's the...
So the crux is this email from Rita, 10 minutes before I was supposed to appear, asking Judge Black to have my stuff taken off me. That's interfering, quite frankly. I was there to discuss a matter and I was told by your staff it was to discuss recording, and then for that to happen, unacceptable. I don't expect to be surrounded by security and intimidated to cough up my stuff. You know, it's that simple. You don't have the right to do that. There's been multiple occasions where I have asked for specific items because I want to know if the registry, basically the whole point is the prosecution is trying to say that I've supplied documents at a certain time and date. So for that to have happened, I would have expected them also to be filed with the registry, and the registry to have a stamp on it to say it was filed on that date, such as a witness list.
So you've given a specific document?
I've listed, and they've even asked me for more clarification at the start of January.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, and I gave exact what I wanted. I wanted to know who filed it, when, and what date, and what it was. And then they're asking me what documents I'm asking for. Well, I'm asking to know what documents were filed. How am I going to ask for a document that I don't know that was filed? I mean, I can list off all the documents.
Isn't that something you need to be talking to the police about?
What, the prosecution?
So,
I sent the police over 5 months all separate letters asking for these documents. They ignored them until November. Yeah, I know. Asked the prosecution. I did four times, and they ignored me every time. I mean, I'm only going by the initial disclosure rules and what I was entitled to have. And then they turn around and say Section 12.3 of Criminal Disclosure Act 2008 says because it's an infringement fine, I'm not entitled to disclosure. Then why would they, on their cover notes when they send you the ticket, say this complies with Criminal Disclosure Act, Section 12.1? It leads you to imply you are entitled to it, doesn't it? And then the judge does a Section 30 order anyway, so that overrides anything that they think I'm not entitled to because she told them to give it to me. And even 2 months after that, I don't get a report that I find in January that they were supposed to supply me. So the whole thing's a miscarriage of justice. Now, the recording of the hearing on the 9th of February, apparently it's missing, gone, vanished. Even after the judge denied my submission to audio and video record.
That's what you're here today, yeah?
Well, yeah, she's invited me back because of all this drama.
That's certainly what can cover, so that was an error from what I understand.
She checked with the registry at the start of the hearing to make sure it was working, and he confirmed it was, so how come it wasn't? How did it get lost?
That's something, that's the issue that I was...
Well, it's one of the main issues, yeah.
So, that's
because that witness, he perjured himself 6 times on the stand. I was asking him questions from the manual, and he was giving me the wrong answers. You know, so now I've got no redress, have I? I've got no record to fall back on to say you said this when it was actually incorrect. So do I go and file a private prosecution against Auckland District Court and your staff and take that? I take it I have to go to High Court to do that. Can't go and prosecute you in your own court now, can I? So, and I've already spoken to lawyers on this, and they say I've got good grounds to do it. So, you know, what redress do I get for the fact that you guys have failed to do your job, failed to keep record? I mean, that's the whole point of court of record, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll need a little bit of what happened there.
Cool. I need to know because that's very troubling. It prevents me from setting case law with that record gone, and perhaps that's the reason why.
So hopefully, well, that's going to be addressed today, is it not with Judge Mothers at 10 o'clock or whenever you...
Oh, Judge Mothers, yeah. 10 o'clock. But I've got a copy of every single email where I've asked multiple times for highlighted.
You've been copying me into some of those emails.
Some of them, yeah, not a lot of them. This has been going on since the 15th of June. You know, a month before the hearing, because I wanted to make sure everything was squared away before I got here. I gave court notice. And you even made a tacit agreement. You didn't respond within 10 days. Tacit agreement was formed. I put a failure to respond notice at the bottom of my letter. You guys didn't respond within 15 days. Tacit agreement was set. I could record. You guys didn't say I couldn't. Because you were having staffing problems and there wasn't a manager at the time. There was a job application actually for the new manager. Got the link. It's in the email. Yeah, anything I say, I have facts to back. So, I mean, I'm not talking through a hole.
Well, I think in part the lack of recording, I know you get the job on that.
Mhm.
I can't go back in time and have it recorded, but
Of course not.
certainly if there's an issue with without making an error or doing that, I can deal with that. But again, yeah.
I just need to know where the error occurred, because if the register's saying at the start of the hearing, yes, Your Honour, it's an operation, the FCR or whatever the machine was working, then what stopped? Because it wasn't just my case there that day, there were 3 or 4 other cases, so are they all lost too?
And yeah, that's really concerning. Like, obviously, things happen. There are mistakes made.
Yeah.
From time to time, we try and minimise them.
Yeah, I get the human error thing, but so to speak, people make mistakes every day. I'm in here, been here 10 months challenging an $80 ticket, and they've failed to satisfy the burden of proof. It's not for me to confess and say, no, I wasn't doing it that fast or anything. It's not for me to say I was even there that day. It's for them to prove. So I've studied law for 5 years, so I've got the law dictionaries, I've read the books, I know what the words mean. So I won't be tricked.
And that's the thing, I guess
Not many people do this.
it's these documents, so the documents you're requesting, so I'm just trying to...
Yeah, I wanted to verify when and where. Things like reminder notices and provisions missing off the charging document. I mean, I've spent 150 hours going through legislation, and I can tell you exactly why the provisions weren't on the charging document. And it's because...
Again, if these are things that we don't have, we can't provide them.
Yeah, well, under the Summary Proceedings Act 1957, Section 21, A, B and C, the registry is supposed to witness these documents, stamp them, before the next step can carry on. So that didn't happen. And the multiple times I was just blatantly ignored. I kept sending in answers. I kept saying I'm going to have to come in. And then I'd get a response, but only, like, I'd get this transcript supplied, but I wouldn't get the multiple other things that I've asked for. And I'm just trying to, follow the rules.
And in terms of the police, what have they provided you?
Oh, they've provided what they call full disclosure now, but there's still no evidence to say it was me. But
They've provided what they've got.
they provided disclosure on the 14th of November, excluding the report from Kelly Ryan made on the 30th of May that states everything that was disclosed, even though it wasn't. I wouldn't be asking 4 times over 5 months for these items if I already had them. I didn't ask for the photo because that's the only thing they send me. And that's what they do, they send you a blue copy, they send you a ticket, and on that blue copy there's no provisions. Now, because I requested a hearing straight away, the reminder notice wasn't created, and on the reminder notice that is where the provisions are. The provisions show up 3 times before the hearing. On the charging, they should be on the charging document, they should be on the reminder notice, and they should be on the summary of facts. The provisions, Land Transport Act, Section 123. But because I asked for a hearing as soon as I got the blue ticket without the provisions, they took that blue copy and took it to the registrar and didn't copy out the provisions because they weren't on the blue copy. And that's how it's all fallen down. Step 2's not there, and causing that to be an invalid document.
From Maine, what would you like, I guess, or what would you feel would resolve your...
I'd like a written explanation as to how these recordings got lost, given that it was confirmed at the start of the hearing that it was working. I'd like to know how Rita gets to do something like that and request for me to have my property taken off of me before I'm even there to discuss supposedly a recording, when I'm told on her emails beforehand.
So, yeah, and that being a judge's decision,
that's just dirty.
I can't
That's a registrar
really comment
tampering
on
with the court. Yeah, well,
the judge has made a decision, I can't comment on that.
Yeah, but how did he make the decision? We had to come to his notice because Rita asked. He didn't know about that until she asked for it. He wasn't made aware until 10 minutes before I was supposed to be
here. You can
here.
understand, I can't, now that decision...
Oh, sure, yeah, I filed a JCC complaint against Judge Black. He
so that's
threatened me and... Well, no, Alan Ritchie's just brushed it under the carpet and said he's not going to go through it point by point. And I found out that last week from the JCC, but that's not over. I don't accept that.
Sorry, I've got 3 minutes.
It's all right.
Alright, so you may not be happy with my response on that, but I'll give you something.
A response is all I'm wanting, as opposed to...
possibly comment on it, and that's
fine. The record will reflect that, I have a YouTube channel, I have over 500,000 views, 1,300 plus subscribers. They all follow this, and I'll keep them updated at the end of the hearing. You know, I'm not disclosing anything until the matter's concluded, of course. But I exercise my right to seek and impart information. I'm the type of guy that pisses people off, quite frankly, because I know what I'm doing. And I expect people that have, you know, rules, provisions, regulations to follow them. And that's not what's happened. And by the police's own words, Your Honour, we're not used to this, everybody just prays. No one ever challenges it. Perhaps more should. $80 million a year they made last year in speeding tickets. 86 million this year. Crazy stuff. Good money.
Okay. So, and the other question was around the actual decision around filming.
Yeah, just these are new. I haven't seen these up. When did these signs come up?
A little while ago now, but...
Mind you, I've been in and out 10 months. They weren't there in July, I don't think.
So they're probably the three key things.
Yeah, and just the lack of responses, and if I could see copies of what the register has on file, you know, like under the district court access to court documents rules.
Yeah, there's certain restrictions,
you know,
on what you can have, but...
Well, not for a party to proceedings unless the judge says so.
Yeah, precisely.
So I should be allowed to see everything that you guys have on file. It's not just a scan or a copy or something.
And then if we say this is what we've got that we can disclose to you, so there'll be certain things that potentially that we can't.
A witness list or something like that, but
yeah.
It's not like he's been hidden. I mean, I've looked through the media guidelines in regards to criminal cases, and it's only really to do with sexual offenders or youth.
Yeah,
you can't
they're
record.
pretty standard.
Yeah, nothing about a traffic ticket, Grace. So you can.
For the media, yeah? So they apply to accredited media.
Well, no, they apply. Everybody has the same rights as media. You don't have to be a part of a media organisation to be able to record something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how do YouTube get on?
In a courtroom, a judge may be that different.
Oh yeah, a judge has the final say in the courtroom. You know, they like to be the rulers of their own world.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really.
I've got to say, Judge Mathers has been nothing but fantastic. She's totally restored my faith in a bit of it, anyway.
All right. Well,
polar opposite to Tim.
just to tell you, explanation why the recording wasn't done. Reader requesting removal of devices.
Yeah, because that to me I consider a complete interference.
Right.
Yeah, and just a copy of this order that says we're not, because it says it on the...
I don't have it at hand, but we put it on a sign.
You can email it to me.
And copy of the follow-up. So
Yeah, just a copy with the registry stamp as to when they were filed, because if the police are going to say something was filed at a certain date, and the registry can't obviously verify that, then there's a problem.
When would you think a reasonable time frame for me to come back?
Give it 3-4 weeks, I think that would take.
Cool. That works for me.
Feeling reasonable?
You might have some resolution in the day, I don't know.
Oh, I expect she's going to dismiss the case, and it's a miscarriage of justice, so I'll be claiming costs. $3,000, 4 appearances, 150 hours study, preparing documents. That bag's full of documents. Okay. Yeah, Mark. Mr. King. Yes, Jackson.
I think if you've got that clear, I wanted to look into it. Got that right?
Yeah, well, it's
to speak out of school because I need to know.
No, fair enough. Yeah, do your homework first before you speak. All right, Jackson.
No,
appreciate it, mate. No, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And I might just go back to the order, just clarifying these issues, and then I'll give you something formal once I just to make sure I'm not missed anything.
All good. Thank you very much. Have a good day, eh? See ya.
I don't know who you are.
Good luck.